Hi, my name is Mason Waring. I'm a CCK partner. I'm joined here today with my colleague, CCK attorney, Leah Small. We help people with their long-term disability insurance claims, and today we're talking about long-term disability insurance claims 101. We're going to talk about the basic anatomy of a long-term disability policy, the 3 core stages of a long-term disability claim, how insurance companies investigate claims, and what happens if you're denied benefits. And that includes filing an administrative appeal and pursuing claims in court. So Leah, let's get rolling here. And can you start off by telling people the basics of about the basics of a long-term disability insurance policy?
Absolutely. And so there's a lot of valuable information in the long-term disability policy. One of the most important things you're going to find is what we call the definition of disability, which is essentially the standard the claimant needs to meet in order to be entitled to benefits. There's also going to be information about your benefits, how much you can receive each month, when your benefits will start, how long your benefits will last, as well as certain limitations and exclusions that might apply to your claim for benefits, such as you can have mental nervous limitations, which limit the length of time you can receive benefits for certain conditions, or you can have exclusions that eliminate benefits for certain conditions as well. So it's really important to read your long-term disability policy if you are thinking about filing a claim, but it can also be a great idea before you've even reached that stage to read your policy to make sure you understand what your coverage is and what you may be entitled to if you become disabled in the future.
And no 2 claims are the same, but there are 3 core sections of the claim process. What are those, Leah?
Absolutely. So the first stage is filing the claim, and the insurance company will then review the claim. After you file your claim, which typically involves submitting notice of the claim, then completing claim forms, and then the insurance company will review from there. If your claim is denied, you move to the next stage of the process, which is the administrative appeal. And that also occurs with the insurance company, but you can submit additional evidence to the insurance company and argue why you should be entitled to benefits. If the appeal is then denied, you move to the 3rd stage of the process, which is litigation or filing a lawsuit in court.
So let's talk a little more about that first stage. So you provide notice of claim to the insurance company, you provide your applications and so forth, and the insurance company investigates. What does that look like?
So that can look like a lot of different things. There are a few big things the insurance company uses when they're investigating, though. One that we see most often is what we call file reviews, and that is where either an insurance company's own internal doctor or an external doctor they've hired, or it could be a nurse, but usually it's a doctor, will review the forms the claimant submitted, the forms their doctor submitted, the medical records, the other evidence, and typically they'll issue an opinion about the claimant's restrictions and limitations, functional impairments, things like that. And then the insurance company will review that opinion and determine, based on that, does the claimant meet the definition of disability? Sometimes the insurance company will also send a claimant for what we call an independent medical exam or an IME. And that's
sometimes they're independent, yeah. Sometimes they're not.
Which is why we say independent. But that's where the claimant actually goes physically to a doctor's office, and a doctor physically examines them and then, again, issues an opinion about restrictions, limitations, functional impairments, which the insurance company uses to render a decision on the claim. Those aren't the only things they do, though. They also could do a financial investigation. They will do a social media search or other internet search on the claimant to see what shows up online. They also can conduct surveillance on claimants, where they will actually go to the claimant's house to see what activity are they engaging in, how does that compare to what they're reporting to their doctors.
Follow you outside the house, all
Absolutely.
That. And throughout this entire process, it is on you to provide evidence in support of your claim. And the insurance company will often do some evidence gathering themselves, but really the burden is on you to ensure that everything gets submitted. This kind of work is something that will help people with all the time. We counsel people through this investigative process because there is a lot there.
Absolutely.
And so, claim gets filed. The insurance company investigates, and then you're going to get a decision. That's going to be a claim approval or a denial likely. And what can a person expect there?
So if the claim is approved, then you are entitled to benefits. Typically, there is an elimination period or a waiting period that has to go by before benefits start. And depending on your policy, that can be 60, 90, 180 days. But once that period goes by, you will start receiving monthly benefits. However, that's not guaranteed of continued benefits, completely for the duration of your claim. The insurance company will periodically do claim updates, check, are you still disabled, and get more information from your doctors and things like that. So you do have to provide continuing proof of your disability over time. If the insurance company denies your claim, then you are moving to that second stage we talked about, the administrative appeal stage.
That's a good segue to the next topic, which is administrative appeals.
And this is a critical stage of your claim, and it's a good time to speak with a long-term disability attorney like us if you haven't already. This stage is often your last chance to get evidence into the record, and so it's really critical that you review the denial carefully, see what the insurance company identified as missing or why you weren't entitled to benefits, and make sure you gather whatever's necessary to help prove your claim at that point. It's also really important that you meet the deadline to appeal, because typically the appeal is a requirement before you can pursue your claim in litigation. And if you miss the deadline or fail to appeal, you could lose your rights to your benefits altogether.
Right. You have to get it right.
Yeah.
And to give an example, let's assume your doctor sent you for an examination and there's a report, and you forget to submit that on appeal. The insurance company denies you, and eventually you end up going to court. You may not be able to get that report into the record later. And so your decision could be denied and upheld without that really important piece of evidence there. And that's a simple example, but there's we often see more nuanced situations where there's information that really needed to be in the record and wasn't there. So that's a great time to consult an attorney, if not before that there. And ideally with an appeal, it gets approved.
Correct.
And we help people get approvals all the time, of course. But sometimes they're denied and you have to go to court. And so can you tell the viewers about that process?
Absolutely. So as we talked about, if your appeal is denied, you're going to court, you're filing a lawsuit, typically against the insurance company, but could be another plan administrator, depending on the specifics of your claim. And in ERISA-governed claims or claims that are for policies that were provided by your employer, generally speaking, litigation looks a lot different than what people typically think about. Oftentimes, you're not dealing with a jury trial. As we mentioned, you often can't get new evidence in court, and the court may actually give deference to the insurance company's decision to deny your claim, depending on the terms of your policy and where you're located. And so it's really, really important. There are a lot of nuances. Again, if you haven't already, consult with an attorney at that point. It's not something you should try and handle on your own.
Yeah, and if you have questions about your claim, you're thinking of filing a claim, please reach out to us. It costs nothing to speak with us to see if we can assist. Our number is 401-331-6300. You can also find us online at cck-law.com. Please subscribe to our channel for future videos. And if you have any suggestions on future content, please leave a note there. Thanks very much, and hope you have a great day.